Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Monday, the 29th of November 2021. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to use the Connolly Tarot for today's reading. I'll just show you some of the cards so you get an idea of what these look like. I really like this deck. I think it's so atmospheric and beautiful. So let's see what the cards have to say about Monday and what energy you'll be working with. I just uploaded the weekly horoscope, and in those videos I look at what the astrology is doing, and I go through each day to kind of look at what the energy is like and how you can work with that. So if you want the astrology perspective on the next few days, there is a weekly horoscope out for the 29th of November, going through until the 5th of December. So have a look at that if you haven't checked out my weekly horoscopes. But let's see what the cards have to say about Monday, because the cards always have their own unique perspective. So we've got Judgment, the 20th card in the Major Arcana. So a wake-up call from Source. Then we have the 9 of Cups, your hopes and dreams being realized, coming true. And the Ace of Pentacles, wow, a blessing in terms of your work or in terms of your finances or your creative ability. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. So the first card, the Judgment card, usually you see a big trumpet coming out of the sky and it's on fire and it's blowing loudly, and all these people who've been asleep arise and wake up to their true purpose. It's like this spiritual wake-up call saying, live your life purpose, do what you're here to do, live in the present moment and don't waste your time anymore, and do you, basically. Realize who you are and then use your gifts and talents in a way that will allow you to thrive on planet Earth. And it's the universe just giving you a nudge or kind of putting you back in the right direction if you've got off track a little bit. In this case, we've got a different scene. What have we got? We've got a knight who's put down his helmet and he's become enlightened. And he's now leaning on this wand. So instead of the sword, he's now reading, and he's realized that violence is not the answer, and instead it's about doing something that's positive and meaningful and humanitarian. So he's changed his ways. But then we've got the child and this figure in the background, and they're near an arch, so an opportunity, an escape, maybe a different life, and he's facing away from them. So there's a disconnect, I feel, from what he believes in and what he feels are his duties and obligations. He may feel like, well, now, even though I've read and I don't believe in war anymore, that's my job. That's why I've got this armor. My employer gave it to me. If I want to create an income and be productive, then I'm going to have to go back to war. What are my other options? But instead, he's got this wand here, and this looks like, yeah, out of the suit of wands. We've got the Ace of Wands. Oh, it's fire. It's about your life purpose. And instead of doing what he feels is his duty and his obligation and what he's responsible for, he becomes selfish, and he says, well, I owe it to myself to do something that, yes, allows me to create an income and to meet my needs and other people's needs. But I also owe it to myself to not suffer every day and to wake up groaning and to say, oh my God, I have to go back to that job I hate. That's no life either. And the Judgment card is all about that. It's saying you don't need to live this existence, which is just like going through the motions and paying bills and taking care of other people and round and round and round, because that can get very tedious. At some point, you're going to have to say, well, I'm a human being too. I know I want to help you and be there for you, but I've got to be there for myself as well. Even if that creates conflict, it's my life and it has meaning attached to it. So that's the big choice that you've got here at the beginning of the day. Do you, because you may interpret this differently, and please share with me in the comments if you do see this differently. But I see this as a soldier and his wife and their child, so the family unit. And because he's having this identity crisis, he's not going to be as productive as he usually is. And she doesn't look very impressed. First of all, the body language, she's kind of giving him the cold shoulder. She's walking in the other direction towards the exit, so that's not a good sign. And it's kind of like, I don't appreciate you going through this personality crisis because we need to take care of the child. So what are you doing? Get your act together. And most people in that situation would say, yes, of course. I mean, of course, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I will get my act together and take care of the family. But the Judgment card is saying that even though it's very difficult to say, I appreciate that, but I owe it to myself to live my life. I mean, that's kind of a very personal choice, and it's not going to be an easy conversation to have, and it's probably not going to go down very well. But the Judgment card is saying at some point you do owe it to yourself. You do. There will be obligations at every stage of your life, and somehow you've got to sneak in something good for yourself in between those obligations. The Nine of Cups is a very happy man. Usually it's a pub landlord who's giving out a free round because he's so happy and in such a good place that he's feeling generous and he wants to share the love. And we've got someone similar here who's presenting all these beautiful cups, and there's a red rose in one. So it's dreams being realized, a celebration, a happy, positive future. So if you put yourself first today and you refuse to put other people first, you're on the way to realize your hopes and dreams. And it's not just going to be personally fulfilling, this red rose. It's not going to be just a personal passion. It's also going to be financially rewarding via the Ace of Pentacles. So the cards are saying it is very, very important to look after yourself and not to be roped into making the day about someone else completely and letting yourself be guilted into saying you have to do this because you promised and that's the end of it and you're not free to do as you please and etc. etc. Of course, we can't just all run around doing whatever we want all day. You know, we do all have other people in our lives, and we do all have rent or a mortgage, and it's just one of those things. Like, you can't just play all the time, you have to work. And yeah, of course we can't be selfish all the time, we have to compromise, otherwise we'll never get on with anybody, right? But the cards are saying today, if other people are putting pressure on you to act in a way that you no longer want to be acting in, then that's actually an injustice towards you, and you need to stand up for yourself today, because there is this great opportunity to live your life purpose, or to start living in a new way. So stop being a soldier and start being a charity worker for Greenpeace, for example. Then that change, and even though the change is difficult, the conversation is difficult, standing up to other people is difficult, it's worth it because it's very likely to be a real hope and dream that's going to serve you very, very well in your actual life. So if you've never been able to put your foot down and to say, hang on a minute, I'm not dealing with this right now, or I'm in the middle of a sentence, or I will do this tomorrow, or thank you for sharing, and I've heard you, and I've heard it 5 times, and I will tend to it. You know, if you've never been able to do that, and no one wants to do that because it's not pleasant, but sometimes you have to say, okay, give me an hour, and then we will talk, because I have something else to be doing right now. Practice it today. If you've never been able to be that assertive, you'll be able to do it today, and it's going to serve you very, very well. Number-wise, we've got 20, and 1 is 21, and 9 is 30. 30 reduces to 3 in numerology, and 3 is about new beginnings and communication and perspective. And the cards are saying you have an opportunity to make a fresh start in terms of living your life purpose. Don't get distracted by other people, because pursuing that path is golden. It's going to really work out well for you. So I hope you have a great day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. And subscribe to the channel if you want to be part of this community we've got here on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and also share it online if you are free to share things like tarot videos with your friends. That would help the channel, so I'd really appreciate that. Have an amazing day. Check out the weekly horoscope and some of the other videos on my channel, and I'll speak to you soon.